Wildcats, welcome back. Hope you had a wonderful week. It's a little chilly, but you know what? Don't worry, because we have Weatherman Cameron, and we have a lot of other stories, like the taffy trip and everything that went on there, and just deep diving into their personal lives and just what's been going on at Reigns. So make sure to stay tuned and watch to the end.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cameron, and I'm here with...
Oh, Maddie.
And we're going to be talking about her taffy contest. So how did it go?
It went amazing. I do impromptu lesson, and I got first place.
What was the impromptu lesson about?
Fourth grade science class about food chains.
That is awesome. I remember learning about that when I was a kid, and it was cool. So what really made you want to actually do taffy? What made you want to be a future teacher?
Well, I figured out I wanted to be a teacher in second grade, but Miss Cockrell really just pushed me to be in taffy because she loves me.
And if I'm thinking of this correctly, you guys are making it to state?
Yes, we are.
That is absolutely awesome. Are there any people that really pushed you, other than Miss Cockrell, really pushed you that made you want to be a future teacher?
My mom.
So is there anybody else that really pushed you to become a teacher other than Miss Cockrell?
Miss Fuller. She helped a lot.
That is absolutely awesome. So what made you want to do science?
I didn't get a choice.
Oh, impromptu. Okay, that makes sense. So you're just given a lesson and you just...
Yeah, I have 20 minutes to prep for my lesson, and then they basically put me in this room and I have to teach it for 15 minutes.
Okay, so this is going to be probably a stupid question, but do you teach it to actual children, or are you teaching it in front of adults?
Just judges, and they act like students.
Are there any shout outs you'd like to give to absolutely anybody?
Miss Cockrell. I want to give a shout out to Miss Cockrell for being so fantastic.
Well, you heard it here. Miss Cockrell, you're absolutely fantastic according to Maddie, and I bet you absolutely are. That's all, Wildcats. On to the next interview.
I'm here with Zion, and we're going to be talking about the taffy competition. So, for those of us who don't know, could you explain what taffy is?
TAFE stands for Texas Association of Future Educators, and our competition on Friday was in Texarkana. Everybody overall had a great experience, and the areas that I competed in are ethical dilemma and impromptu lesson. Both of those were very challenging. You have to think, you have to be on your toes, and it was overall just a really fun experience that everybody should get to do.
And you said you participated in the ethical, what was it called?
Ethical dilemma.
Yeah. So what was that about? What's the main topic of that?
With ethical dilemma, you get a prompt, and we had about 2 weeks to basically build up to what we wanted. And it was a teacher and a student teacher, and the student teacher thought that some of the things that the teacher was doing weren't very correct in the standards of teaching.
Okay. And you said it was kind of challenging.
Yes.
What do you think how did this stretch your brain, per se?
You just have to think and be on your toes. It was
very spontaneous?
Yes.
Okay. And so all of y'all won, correct?
Yes. Everybody is advancing to state.
Okay. And when will state be?
At the end of February, towards the beginning of March, yes. We are going to be taking a break in the January month and begin back in February.
Okay. And in that time, what all will y'all be doing to, practice for the next...
Basically, just building our knowledge about the situation and making it even better.
Okay. And we've talked a lot about taffy and the competition, but now we want to talk about you. So, yeah. I know this can be hard for you because you're very humble, but you're just going to have to bear it because we're going to lay it on thick. So, tell us about your hobbies. What do you do? Do you do things for the school, outside of school? Do you have a job? Or just tell us about you.
About me?
Yeah.
So it started when I was born.
So we've talked about a lot about taffy and the competitions and things that y'all are doing to prepare for that. But now I want to talk about you. We know you do a lot here at the school. You're in band and you're in color guard and winter guard, and you do a lot. But we want to know what more you do. Because I know you have a life outside of school and you have a life inside of school. So tell us about that.
I don't really have a life outside of school, but that life consists of I read and I work, and that's That's it.
Yeah, and since you don't have a life outside of school, unfortunately, what do you...
Other than you, AJ.
Aw. And so what do you do in school to keep yourself busy?
I have a pretty big plate of schoolwork that I just have to hunker down on, exactly.
Just going through the motions?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And is there anybody in particular, since we're wrapping up now, that you want to thank or give a shout out to or just talk about who's helped you along the way in this journey?
Miss Cockerel. She's the reason all of this is happening. We're proud of ourselves, but we're mostly proud of her. This is her first year going to a taffy competition, and she's done a great job helping us and figuring out what we need, and she's really just been there through the whole thing.
It's very sweet. Well, thank you, Zahn, for this interview, and good luck with finding a personal life outside of school. And that'll be it. Wildcats, on to the next one.
Hello, Wildcats. I'm here with Hallie, who will be telling us a little bit about the taffy competition we went on last Friday.
Yeah, so we went to Texarkana, and I was competing. The only thing that I competed in was public speaking. And so basically what you got to do is the prompt is education, seeing the good in public education. So basically you have to write a 3 to 5 minute speech. 4 minutes is the money spot. And you can have 5 index cards. You can only use the fronts of them. And you have to give a public speech to 2 judges, and there were about 22 people competing with us, and it went really, really well. Both me and the other person who was in public speaking, Courtney Farrow. Courtney, yeah. Both of us advanced to state, which is amazing. This is our first time that Taffy has ever gone to any kind of conference. And so the fact that we are all advancing is awesome. So anyways, for me personally, I got the highest score out of anyone competing in public speaking. My speech was awesome. I did really, really well. I had only been working on it for like a week. Oops. I had like rewritten the index cards like 4 different times, making the font smaller and bolder every single time so I could actually read it. But yeah, it went awesome. It was a really, really fun day. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Congrats on making state. Congrats to all the Taffy members who made state, actually.
Thanks.
So you said you've only been working on it for like a week. Did you have any inspiration to help you write the speech, or did you just like brainchild?
So at first, the whole basically, I was sitting in the library next to you, and I got on my Chromebook and I was like, there's a Taffy meeting tomorrow, and I need to have this speech finished tomorrow. And so I just kind of got I looked at the prompt a little bit. I looked at the rubric for what exactly you needed. And so I kind of started typing. And then I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But I want to edit it. I want to make it better. And so I looked at a couple of previous nationals winners from the same public speaking for Taffy, and because those videos are online and available, and I looked at the way that they talked. I looked at the vocabulary that they used, and that really, really helped me incorporate some stuff. And so it took my speech from being a pretty good speech to being a great speech. I added a quote. I made it so that it would really draw in the judges. And I think that it ended up really well. I had the main idea all written down already, so it was just a matter of making everything a lot more captivating and really getting my point across, not being too repetitive, stuff like that.
Nice. Well, first of all, good job on doing so well while working on it for such a short period of time. Did you have anyone like proofread over it, give suggestions?
So at that Taffy meeting that I had the next day after I had done it, the speech that I gave at the Taffy meeting is drastically different from what I ended up giving. I mean, it's the same premise, and there are a couple of sentences that are the exact same, but for the most part, it's completely different. So, and that's because I had Miss Cockerel, I had Mr. Fisher, and I had I don't know her name, but she had come in during that Taffy meeting to give us some pointers while we went over everything. And so they all told me what I needed to do best. And essentially it was just that the speech was really, really great. I needed to be more elevated when I give it. It was a matter of the way that I presented myself rather than the content of the speech. Though they did say that they wanted me to add some personal examples, and so I did. And that really helped the speech out because the whole point of my speech was that I wanted to really dig into what actually happens and how people actually think and how people perceive positivity. And so I did that by giving really in-depth examples, including one about myself. And I didn't add that until last minute when they were like, yeah, it would really help if you had something that was really personal because when you're talking to a judge, they're not just a judge, they're also a person, and they will feel things if you make them. And so that was the whole like idea of how I wrote my speech. So yeah, those three people really helped. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my English teacher to look over it because she was one of the judges. Thank you, Miss Samples, for that one. But I'd say that I did pretty good grammatically.
Yeah, obviously so. You made it to state.
Yeah.
So turning off of Taffy a bit and onto more personal aspects, what do you do in your free time? What do you do? What do you enjoy
free
doing?
time?
I know.
I have no free time.
Well,
so in the time that you would necessarily call free time, I do band, I do theater. I'm the theater president and the improv president. I play tuba in band. I play various of my own instruments. Though I have less and less time for those every day. I go to the gym. I do winter guard. I'm actually about to go in for an interview for a job today. I do AV stuff. I draw. I mostly paint. I mostly just paint. I don't really like drawing. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I spend a lot of time listening to music. I play video games. I do a lot of things. Yeah. I spend very little time at home.
Well, thank you for this interview. It's been nice hearing about this. Good luck on your job interview today, first of all, and good luck at state.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for watching. On to the next interview.
Absolutely. Hello, Wildcats, and today I'm here with Sarah, and we're going to be talking about Taffy.
Yes,
so
we
tell us a
are.
little bit about how this last Taffy conference went.
Well, this is the first Taffy conference any of us have ever went to. It's our school's first year competing in it. I competed in the exploring non-core teaching subjects area, which was a lot of fun to do. Put it off till last second, but it was a lot of fun to do in those last seconds. So basically what you do is you find a teacher that teaches a non-core subject. I used Mr. Lance as my teacher since I have more of his classes than anything, really. And then you just shadow them for a minimum of 8 hours, but it doesn't really matter how long it is. If it goes like above 8 hours, then you compile all of that into an interview. You do a 15-minute interview. You write all that answers down. You submit a few forms in when you apply for the competition. And then day of competition comes, you've got a little presentation slideshow, 5 to 7 minutes tops. And you just go through and you tell everything that you learned, try to be as personal as possible. Just like all of the other competitions, it's in front of 2 judges. Yeah.
It's a really cool thing to be able to compete in. And so how in-depth did you go? What exactly did you do, and how do you think that you did?
I think I did pretty well. I got 117 out of 120 points after all. I could have gone a bit more in depth. That was one of the areas that I needed to work on a little bit more with the slideshow and presentation that I give. But I'd say in the interview, I went into really good depth, good detail on what Lance had said.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. Were there any specific things that you used from your own experiences?
There were a good few things I used from my own experiences, because I've been one of Lance's students for 3 years at this point. It wasn't difficult to come up with that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what did the judges think of your presentation?
The first thing they said to me after I finished, "I can tell you're a theater kid by the way you talk."
Yeah. I find that to be very obvious, especially with the way that you project. All right, well, that's amazing. Congratulations for doing so well. I mean, 117 out of 120 is excellent. That's amazing. So with that, moving away a little bit from Taffy, what else do you like to do in your free time? What else do you like to do? And even how does that incorporate into Taffy?
Well, I enjoy writing and drawing a lot, mostly digital art, but, you know, I dabble in traditional from time to time. Writing definitely helped a lot in writing the answers to the interview questions and formatting the slideshow that I did. But apart from that, it doesn't really play in all that much.
And is there anything else that you particularly like doing? Even, I mean, no correlation necessary.
Listening to music, I guess. But I mostly spend my time writing and drawing.
Yeah. That's excellent. I mean, I mean, great job. Obviously, the writing played something into it, considering you're going to state. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think that you're going to do at state?
I think I'm going to do pretty good. This
Yeah.
isn't going to be my first time competing at a state level competition. I know exactly what to expect. It might be the same place that I competed in last time. Honestly, I don't remember though. But
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Amazing job for competing in the first place and making it to state. And yeah, I mean, that's awesome. That's it for Taffy, though. Congratulations to Sarah, and on to the next one.
bye.
Bye.
Hi, Wildcats. I'm Lauren, and I'm here with Sarah E. And we're going to be talking about taffy. So tell me about all the things you did at the taffy competition this week.
So yes, our competition was last Friday, and this is everyone's first year competing in this. And so I was in the ethical dilemma event, and honestly, I felt like I was kind of like, I don't know, not prepared, but prepared at the same time. And honestly, we did a really great job. Me and my team, we all were able to get together that day. We practiced a lot, went over a lot of things. And then during the actual presentation, right before, I was like really nervous, but like once I was there, I just kind of said everything that I needed to say. And the competition was, our whole presentation was like 9 minutes long, so we kind of just tried to make it as long as we could to meet the like requirements and everything. But overall, I think we did pretty good, and so we're state qualifiers.
It sounds pretty fun. How long was the competition in total? Like, how long did you have to stay there for?
Well, I woke up at 5 in the morning, got to school at 6 something. We left the school at like 6:40, 2-hour drive. We were over there at the competition since like 7, and then we had the awards thing and everything after everyone competed around like 5 or 6. And then we got home until like 11. So it's kind of like an all-day thing.
Oh, I would be
It's
exhausted.
very tiring.
Are you used to doing after-school stuff like that? Like,
No, I'm not. This is really like the only thing that I'm doing like in school.
Speaking of, do you have any hobbies that you would like to do other than, like, of course, your schoolwork and taffy and all that?
Honestly, all I do is maybe like on the weekends go shopping or stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really do much.
Mostly schoolwork?
Schoolwork, yeah, during the week, and then during the weekends, just sometimes go out with friends or mostly just to spend money.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Do you like reading books or anything like that?
Yes, yeah, I do. It's not one of my main interests, but I don't mind reading every once in a while.
So once you graduate, what's your plans? Like, do you have a particular work field you'd like to go in? Obviously, you're in taffy, so...
I'm not quite sure right now. Taffy, I'm kind of using this as like something to see like how it would be like being in the education world and all that. But my other endorsement is also business. And so my parents, they have a business, and so I'm also kind of looking into that. But right now I'm still kind of indecisive with education and business at the same time.
What's your parents' business?
It's called CNH Carports. Yeah, but metal structures, and then they have another one. It's Cabrera Supply. So it kind of goes on hand for both. On Highway 19, guys.
Free advertising. So what, do you have anyone you'd like to shout out to? Parents, teachers, friends?
I would say Miss Cockrell, and also my parents as well. Without them, they're the ones that give me like most inspiration to get through things with school and everything. And also, I would say Miss Samples. She really helped me a lot with the ethical dilemma as well. She gave me ideas on how to get a better presentation.
Right. Well, thank you for coming and giving us this interview, and thank you, Wildcats, for watching. On to the next one.
Hello, Wildcats. I am Landon, and this is Marquise, and today we're going to be talking about the taffy competition. So, how was it?
It was fun. It was like really long. Like, I really enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun.
Sweet. So what was yours about?
I competed in the ethical dilemma, so I was competing with Zion, Sari, and Courtney. We were given a scenario, and we had to decide like who we were siding with in the scenario between like a teacher and a student teacher.
Cool. And what was your scenario?
It was a teacher who was using like outdated practices and was kind of behind on her curriculum, and we had a student teacher who was like there observing. So like he wanted to like say something, but like he couldn't because it would like affect his review that he got back from the teacher.
Got it. And how would you say this would impact you in the future, like getting a job or like your choice in life after graduation?
It definitely opened up like a whole new side of things for when I get out of school because I didn't even think about being a teacher. But like seeing how fun this is, I think I might want to be a teacher after.
Awesome. So that was Taffy. So let's talk about like, your hobbies. Like what do you do like besides schoolwork and like extracurricular things? Like what's your hobbies?
I like to go shopping. I like to travel a lot.
Awesome. Where do you like to travel?
Mostly out of the country, really. Like I just got back from El Salvador, so it was pretty fun.
That's really cool. So would you like to shout out anyone?
My dad, yeah, he really like helped get me through that competition. He approved every Cash App request I sent him all day.
Awesome. So I don't have any more questions for you. So this has been Marquise. I am Landon Illingworth, and go Wildcats.
Thank you, Wildcats, for watching the news today, and we'll see you next time.